I have never had any obsession on Peter Obi because, first of all, Peter Obi is not an issue right now in the government. The president is sitting on the saddle. Even the person who came second was not Peter Obi. What I actually do as a private citizen, having my right, is what we call the right of self-defense. If you are being, like you said, you're also following events on social media, you will see that there are sets of people who believe that this country cannot make progress unless their wishes are forcefully pushed down the throat of the Nigerian people. They are the ones that come on all of social media handles. You know, they gallivant like sheep without shepherd on all social media handles to accuse people, to abuse people, to insult on people. And so as long as you will remain in the social media, then you must exercise your right of self-defense in the same way that in real life, when bullies come to you, you have to stand up to them. That's all I do, first of all. But, you know, during this democratic period, people began to, they come on various platforms to accuse people on their democratic credentials. So I now said, the reason that they keep talking is because the man whom they see as number uno, the man who taught them to take back your country, how to win by bullying, does not have any democratic credential either in his days as a student or after he finished his university, during his work period. Nothing like human rights advocacy, nothing like civil society, nothing like philanthropy, no connection with democracy. And so when you do not suffer, there is no blood, sweat, and tears, you will not know the value of democracy. And that's why some of the people call obedient, not all of them. There are people who believe in Peter Obi, and they are not necessarily obedient people, and I respect them. There are those who are even called obedient, they identify as obedient, but they understand the principles of democracy. I respect that. But a greater number of those who come under that cover as obedient, in my opinion, are actually IPOB and IPOB apologists. They're masquerading themselves as obedient. Otherwise, even if you think Peter Obi is the person that should be the president, if you respect democracy, you know that one of the hallmarks of democracy is one, free speech, meaning that I can differ with you, still respect your opinion. Two, I cannot force my opinion down your throat. Three, in the same way I feel pain about the situation in Nigeria, somebody has the right to say he doesn't feel pain about that. All of these virtues and elements that constitute a free society, they don't have respect for that. The very pastor that gave the platform that made Peter Obi who he is today, Pastor Yemade, who used to organize a yearly event that Peter Obi was speaking for many years, when the man raised an opinion, they tore him down. Traditional leaders talk opinion, they tore them down. Religious leaders, they tear them down. The fathers of faith, they tear them down. Fathers in the government, there is virtually nobody that survived their vitriol and they are vulgar as long as the person does not join them in saying Peter Obi is the president of Nigeria. But Peter Obi, everybody knows, is the president of social media, but not necessarily the president of Nigeria.
Well, this now may be termed as you trying to curb their own freedom of expression as well, because for a lot of them, they're not happy. As I imagine you're not with the situation of things in Nigeria, and talking economy, security, standard of living, and the rest. So do you agree with them? So maybe we can take the layers. Do you agree with them in their what appears to be their call for good governance, better living conditions for Nigerians, better security? Do you agree on that basis at least? Are you happy with the current situation of things? Before we can now look at the other layers, but at the heart of it, do you agree?
That's the problem. The problem is that, do they even agree? They don't agree. What they do on social media is throwing insult at people. Because, for example, even the president of Nigeria, who is sitting on the saddle, does not agree with the situation of the country. That's why he works day and night, and he keeps communicating with the Nigerian people on his plans. There is nobody in all political party that is comfortable with what's happening in Nigeria. So the fact that President Bwala Tinubu is in the saddle does not mean APC people are out. Don't we go to the same market? Don't we enter the same transportation system? Don't we pay the same power bills? Nobody is happy. But what distinguishes a democratic society is that you express that your unhappiness in a consistent manner with democratic principles. Meaning that in the same way you feel sad or you are not happy about Nigeria, You respect the right of somebody who does not join you. I give you an example of their problem. So on social media, the president delivered a flawless independence speech. They don't want anybody to give any opinion other than what they hold, that Nigeria is dead and dying. So if you say this was a flawless speech, the president identified the issues, the president applied the situation of Nigeria to the issue, the president cited the fact that even himself is not happy, and the president promised the Nigerian people there is a future, they come to your page and abuse you. So that is where the free speech of another person is being denied. But we, no matter what they express on social media as their unhappiness, we don't go about fighting them. Nobody fights them. It is them who will say you must say what they say. You must think what they think. Otherwise, you are not you are not doing the right thing. And funny part, you know, when I was with Atiku Abubakar during the campaign, we commissioned this data, the analytics, and they ran the poll, and we discovered that 57.3% of those who post themselves as obedient, they don't live in Nigeria. And so when you are not there in the trenches and nothing that is happening there affects you, you have the luxury of setting the country on fire. You will have what the military officer was talking about, Simon Ekpa. And this is generally what happens with people who are not in the trenches along with every other person. So when you have the greater number of people who advocate for him, don't even live in Nigeria to look at the realities. They don't mind that you pour fuel and burn the country. But any society, American, it has been, a research was done, and they said that all over the world, American society now has been at its all-time low and very, very unpleased society. Well, because
Mr. Bwala,
they said the government of America, let me learn, the government of America have not been able to deliver on the people.
Right.
Do you see the American people on social media doing what these people call themselves obedient are doing in Nigeria?
To another point you made, I mean, this is not the purpose of this conversation. It's just what has been happening of late, and you trended quite a lot. And I'd like you to speak to this quickly. Is there any proof to back your assertion that a good number, majority of obedients belong to IPOB or IPOB members? Because that is a major allegation. I know a lot of them will not take this sitting down. What is your proof, Mr. Bwala?
No, see, this is not about proofs. This is about opinion. Opinion does not necessarily have to be proven. I said, in my opinion, first of all, I laid the background by telling you that there are a good number of people who support Peter Obi, and I respect them. They are very, very intellectual, educated. They are very good people. Some of them are religious. Then there are some who also even identify as obedient. They are also very respectful and respectable, and they do their things in accordance with the law. Then I said the greater number, I hold the opinion that they are IPOB or IPOB apologists masquerading as obedient. I mean, my language is very clear and unambiguous. If I say there was a data, then I have to give you a proof. If I say there is a finding, I have to give you a proof. But if it's an opinion, it doesn't have to be backed up by proof. And my opinion is anchored on what I see on social media. I don't believe an educated person who understands the rule of law will come to the social media and be cursing your father and mother, threatening your life. These guys on social media and doing the cyberbullying are actually threatening the lives of people. This is not a joke. And I can't think of anybody who will threaten the life of people simply because you are not joining them. It's not that you are not saying what they are saying. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we who say what we feel or we think is right for us to say, don't even abuse, don't do anything to them. So check the Terrorism and Financing Terrorism Act in Nigeria. What is terrorism? Terrorism is a coordinated attempt by a group of people to bring fear to another set of people of impending danger if their wishes are not carried out. So if we are really applying this Terrorism Prevention Act and bringing it with cybercrime, a lot of them would have been jailed, but how can you even get them? They don't live in the country, most of them.